Yo, everybody. So, One Piece chapter 1067 is out, and we got one, baby.
Saying, hey, Vegapunk, I can tell this is you by how swollen your head is. Honestly, guys, that tells me that Vegapunk probably, if I was to guess, Vegapunk probably has the learn fruit or the brain fruit or something. Something to where his head isn't actually this swollen all the time. Just a guess.
That's right. In our previous video, I definitely said that the reason Vegapunk's head is big is because he ate a devil fruit. And I wasn't completely shooting dark here. I just felt like because I've grown to be accustomed to Oda's writing style, I made an educated guess. It's that simple. But make sure you drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe, because this is what we do over here. Push the notification bell for more One Piece content, and you know the catchphrase. Let's get straight into it.
Hey, listen!
Now that I got that off my chest, the chapter begins with Bonnie questioning Vegapunk on what happened to his head. See, she knows the real Vegapunk, so she's not gonna be fooled by what's going on. But he explains that he actually ate the Nomi, and because of that, he can remember every tiny detail of knowledge that he has. And a side effect to that is his brain growing super huge. So he explains to Bonnie that his brain got so big that he just cut it. Yo, this man cut his brain. This is definitely One Piece logic. So of course Luffy follows up with the most logical question, which is, if you cut your brain, does that mean you're dumber now? After a quick snap on Luffy, he explains that the apple on his head is an antenna that communicates with the hangar above the island called Punk Records. Now this is the hangar for his brain. It basically works like a satellite hovering above the island, and it communicates wirelessly with the apple on Stella's head, enabling him to function and retain all his knowledge, of course. And he goes on to explain that the girl that they met earlier, that was just one of his 6 clones that he keeps here on the island, each of them being an expert in their respective fields. Each of them being York, Edison, Atlas, Lilith, Shaka, and of course Pythagoras. He's able to sync their data through Punk Records each and every day and synchronize their experiences, so they all know everything he does. So Vegapunk goes on to explain, just think of it kind of like a library. Everybody accessing knowledge and data through one source. And he goes on to say that if all of mankind can reciprocate the Punk Records, then it is possible to create a sea of knowledge beyond that of his brain, right? So his plan is that his brain will someday be shared with all of mankind. Sounds a little bit like a dream to me. Just saying. So Jinbei's kind of scratching his head here. He's kind of like, that sounds nice, but what are the inconveniences? If I'm gonna let you into my head, is there gonna be an issue? And Vegapunk responds and he says, you know, that's a good question, but science can't move forward if you worry about that kind of stuff. You know, that's a very typical scientist answer. And of course, Bonnie gets pissed off here. She's like, yo, you never change. You're willing to sacrifice anything for the sake of science, and that's why you transformed my father into an emotionless combat weapon. She actually picks up the lightsaber that she had earlier in her hand and she holds it to Vegapunk's neck, and he's trying to tell her, yo, calm down. That weapon that you have, it's actually a failed experiment. She's like, up yours, I'm not trying to hear that. You need to turn my father back to normal, and if you can't, well then. And he tells her once again, she's like, yo, chill, that lightsaber is not what you think. And Jinbei actually steps in here and he's telling Bonnie, yo, listen, you might want to calm down. If you kill Vegapunk, you're gonna make a lot of enemies. Of course, this is true because we know that Vegapunk is allied with the world government, even though the world government sent CP0 here to kill him. He's allied with the revolutionaries, and currently right now he's kind of allied with the Straw Hats as well, even with the Giants of Elbaf. So yeah, Bonnie, if you kill him, you're pretty much grits out of luck, bro. Like, every everybody's gonna hate you. Bonnie's not really trying to hear any of that, but Vegapunk tries to tell her one more time. Function of that beam is but it's too late. A swarm of bugs attack Bonnie and find out that's what the lightsaber is for, is to attract bugs. And Bonnie passes out. I don't know if she passes out from stings or anything. It doesn't look like they actually hurt her. I think she just doesn't like the sight of bugs, which I am not surprised about. I'm right there with you. As Bonnie recovers, Vegapunk does mention that, listen, she's kind of right to want to kill me, and to be honest, the only reason I'm even alive is because that was a failed experiment. And he moves right on from here. He's like, oh, you guys went to Wano, right? There was a rumor that there's another dragon there besides Kaido. Yo, I like the way that Oda made Vegapunk's character. He's a genius, but you can tell he's very like scatterbrained, and he'll move from one subject to another very, very quickly. It's the small details that it really satisfies me with Oda. But Luffy's like, oh, you must mean Momo. And Vegapunk goes on to say, yeah, he actually ate a failed artificial devil fruit that I made on Punk Hazard. Now we know that that's the exact fruit that Momo ate, but we know that it was not a failure. Anyways, he goes on to tell Luffy that the fruit was actually created from research funds over 20 years of Kaido's lineage factor. And Luffy goes on to say, but it was a success. Like, he can breathe fire, he's super powerful, and he's even the garden deity of Wano. I thought that was supposed to be Yamato, but okay, all right, Oda, we're rolling with it. And here Vegapunk responds, he's like, but what's the color though? And Luffy's like, well, it's pink. And he's like, oh man, like I told you it was a failure. And Jinbei's like, I guess he's a scientist and a perfectionist. So I guess because Momo didn't come out azure or blue just like Kaido, I guess he counts it as a failed experiment. Yo, the things that this man counts as a failure is actually kind of incredible. But we knew that. But anyways, from here, Luffy actually moves onto the robot. Now we actually see that Luffy and Vegapunk kind of have the same attention span. Anyways, Luffy says, I assume you created this ancient robot, so can you please move it? And Vegapunk explains to Luffy, no, you're actually wrong. This is a legendary metal giant that attacked Mary Joa 200 years ago, and it was probably made about 900 years ago. Of course, we know that this giant was made in the Void Century. And Vegapunk goes on to explain that he still doesn't know the reason for its creation, and there really wasn't any damage or anything due to the lack of energy when it did attack Mary Joa, but the science within it, it's just unknown. You know, nobody knows where it came from or what it was trying to do, but the world government just ordered its destruction anyways, because why not? And you know, this is strike 3 for the world government. I mean, they didn't get the books on Ohara. They captured Clover a bunch of times and he escaped. I mean, and now they ordered the destruction of this robot, and the robot's not even really destroyed. I mean, it's official, bruh. They suck at their job. Anyway, Vegapunk goes on to explain that the researchers, they didn't want to destroy this robot, but instead it's just remained here in secret, unbeknownst to the world government, and its information has been passed down from generation to generation. Incredible. From here, we actually cut back to the other half of the Straw Hat crew with Shaka, and he's explaining to them while they watch Luffy's crew on screen. Robin explains 200 years ago is the exact point in time when the discrimination against fishmen started. Of course, we always knew that Robin was well read, but Shaka explains, yeah, and the robot here, we created the Vega Force based on everything that we learned from the robot, but there's things that even he and his science just can't replicate. Much to Frankie's surprise, he's like, wait, you can't replicate it? And Shaka explains the problem here is power. In the past, there was a great power that was enough to change the common sense of the world today. I'm not really sure what that means. I'm gonna wait on the official translation for that one. But from here, we cut back to Luffy's crew, and Vegapunk is very somber here, and he's like, I have actually done some bad things things to Bonnie, and he explains that there were some things that he wished he handed over to her. But before he even elaborates on what those things are, he goes on to say, oh yes, Straw Hat Luffy, it's fated that you came here. Can you do me a favor and take me out of Egghead Island? Yo, this man Vegapunk, his brain is, yo, I can't, Oda. But from here, we get another reappearance of CP0, and they are actually donning their masks now. And they're outside Egghead Island requesting to dock. Now, the Straw Hats hear what's going on, and they're like, yo, like, are they serious CP0s out there? And Lilith is like, just let them enter. Rob Lucci is an assassin, right? I'm a big fan. Let him in. And all the Straw Hats are like, no, not him again. And of course, Shaka is saying, prepare to intercept them. We're gonna decline their request to harbor. And you know what, Shaka, damn it, you seem to be the most competent person on this island so far. But from here, we cut back to Kamabaka Queendom on the Grand Line, and we see that the original Kuma body that is under repair with the Revolutionary Army, it starts to move, it starts to act on its own, and he just starts to run. He just takes off. And they're asking him, where you going? He's not saying anything. He's still well under repair. He actually falls and gets back up and starts to run again. And Dragon shouts at him. He's like, yo, what is the matter? Where are you going? Just stay here. And he goes on to say, our battle as the Revolutionary Army starts now. End of chapter. And of course, there is a break next week, so we got lots of stuff to talk about, but let me know what you guys think below. There's some huge points that I can think of off the top of my head. Off rip, I think that Luffy takes Vegapunk to Elbaf. You know, if we're gonna go to Elbaf, I think Luffy probably takes Vegapunk to Elbaf, and Vegapunk will probably die in Elbaf. I'm gonna make a whole video on it, so look out for that. Of course, let me know what you guys think about CP0 finally showing up. Let me know what you guys think about the ancient warrior giant Mechazord thing that we see that attacked Mary Joa. Like, let me know what you guys think about everything. Drop it in the comment section below. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. Please, you gotta make sure you're subscribed if you want these videos. Make sure you guys stay safe, stay healthy. This has been Sifu That Guy talking, and yo, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.